2 years ago, I was weighing in at 155 pounds. I used to play football in high school, and at that weight, you're considered a victim weight. I knew goddamn well that I needed to get heavier, but I didn't know how. I had to learn what bulking was and actually start eating more. And now, 2 years later, I am weighing in at 205 pounds, so a 50-pound increase, and I am the same body fat percentage. Bulking has always been a struggle with me. Yes, to bulk, you only need to eat more. But for me, eating more seemed impossible. I always had a weak appetite. And even when I thought I was eating a lot, I was not even gaining weight. This may sound amazing for fat people, but for skinny guys who tried to bulk up and failed, you know the struggle. In this video, I will not only show you how to actually eat more, I'm also going to show you how to track your progress to know if you're actually eating more. And I'm going to show you what foods you should eat to maximize the amount of muscle and reduce the amount of fat you're going to put on. How can you actually start eating more as a hard gainer? Here are a few tips that help me overcome my weak appetite. The first one is eating an extra meal. So let's say right now you're eating only 3 meals a day. I recommend you go for 4 meals. So I'm gonna give you an example. Right now what I do, as soon as I wake up around 6 a.m., I actually eat my first meal before 7 a.m. where I gotta leave for school. Now, whilst I'm in school, I usually get a break at around 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And during those times, I actually eat my second meal. And then once I'm back home at around 2 p.m., I eat another meal, and then I have finally my dinner at around 5 to 6 p.m. So I get 4 meals in every single day. Now, this is working with me right now, but I'm not bulking as hard as I was when during the holidays, I was eating up to 5 meals a day, following almost the same schedule, but I was even eating before sleep. Now, eating before sleep kind of gave me some issues, so I stopped doing that. But if you're already eating 4 meals a day, try to scale up to 5, see how you respond. But if you're only eating 2 to 3 meals a day, bro, that's why you're not bulking. That's why you're not gaining weight. You need to add another meal. The second tip is to bring more snacks to school. Now, if you're still in school, to school. But if you're in work, bring more snacks to your work. What I like doing is bringing little cheese sticks, some juices, some yogurt, and some fruits. Because you want to make sure that your constraint to bulking is not the fact that you don't have enough food on yourself. Because sometimes I'm at school and I get hungry. And when that happens, as a guy with weak appetite, I need to act. I need to eat more when I feel like eating. Because I always feel like not eating. So when it happens, when I feel like eating, I need to eat. So make sure you bring enough snacks to school. The third tip is to actually drink your calories. Now, personally, when I cannot eat, like usually in the morning, when like you just woken up, you don't want to eat, it's the last thing you want to do, I can still drink some calories. It's just like drinking water. So I like drinking a lot of juice and a lot of milk, especially milk, because milk has some high quality proteins and some high quality fat that will actually serve you on your muscle growth journey. And for the juices, if you can, try to keep them closer to your workouts. The fourth tip is to actually eat a reasonable breakfast. Now, this will be extremely hard at first if you're not used to eating a breakfast. Because for me, like before, during last summer, what I like doing is just fasting for the morning. It just felt good. My body felt good not eating in the morning. And when I tried eating a breakfast again, it was so hard. I had the weakest appetite ever. So kind of progressively overload your breakfast. At first, don't eat too much and try to scale up the dose. And you're going to figure out that your body will actually respond to this new breakfast. And you're actually going to start feeling hungrier. The fifth tip is to add fats to your meals. Now, this is extremely simple, but I don't see a lot of guys doing this. If you got olive oil at your house, take it and kind of sprinkle a little bit on it on your meals. So let's say you're eating some pasta and beef, something like that. Just sprinkle a little bit of olive oil in there. Or let's say you're cooking something, cook it with a little bit more fat, with a little bit more butter. When you're putting butter on your toast, put a little bit more. Now, not only putting more butter to your meals will increase the amount of weight you're gonna gain. It's also gonna increase your testosterone because butter, cholesterol, is the building block to all steroid hormone. So that means that to have more testosterone, to build more testosterone, to create more testosterone, you need cholesterol at first. The sixth tip is to eat your carbs last. If you're like me, you always ate what you dislike the most first, and you finish up with the tastiest part. Now, it's kind of the same in this situation. You start off, let's say you got salmon and rice. You start eating your salmon first because that's protein, and that protein is gonna fill you up. But you wanna make sure that you eat enough protein at first. So you eat your salmon, and then you kind of feel full, right? And then you start eating your carbs. And you're gonna realize that when you eat protein and carbs, it's almost two different things. It's like if you had a second life for your carbs. And carbs, they kind of hit that dopamine in your brain, telling you to eat more and more. Try next time you eat something, try eating your carbs lastly. Now let's talk about how to actually track your progress. There are a few ways to track your progress. The method that worked best with me is to track my weight every single morning. Now, what I do is pretty simple. I wake up, do my shit, and then I weight myself. When I'm fully fasted, when I'm at my lightest, I weight myself. If I lost weight, let's say from the other day or from the other week, I know I need to eat more. And if I gained weight, I know I'm doing something right. And now with experience, I know on a day before weighing myself, I know whether I ate enough or not. It's gonna take time and it's something that just comes with experience. But at some point, you're gonna realize like, did I eat enough or did I eat not enough? It's actually gonna be a new skill that you got in your brain. But if you wanna be more precise, you can actually start counting your calories. Now, I did that for a while and I actually became super good at tracking my calories. But after some point, I actually started hating doing that because I was close to my phone and I don't like that. But if you wish to start counting your calories, the first thing you need to do is to go on this website called Calorie Counter. On this website, you'll need to fill out your age, your weight, your height, and the activities you do weekly. After doing all that, you're gonna get your main gain calorie intake amount. And on that amount, you wanna add anything around 300 calorie surplus to 500 calorie surplus. The second thing you'll need to do is to install an app like My Net Diary. This app will help you count your calories. You can scan the food on your phone. You just go to the label, you scan it, and you're gonna see the macros on it, and you're also gonna see the calories that there are on this food. Now, you don't need a weight scale to know how much grams you ate. Usually you can kind of guess it into cups. So usually on the label it's written like, yeah, so for 50 grams you have 1 cup, something like that, right? So you kind of guess the amount of calories you're eating. You're not gonna be fully precise, but counting your calories like that is already kind of precise. You can also simply research the name of the food on the research function. So you kind of type, let's say, apples. Oh yeah, medium apple. You type the amount of apples you ate. Simple. You write steak. Now, there's different types of steak, but pick the first one and you write how much you ate. Simple. And if you wish, and your future self would probably thank you for that, you can start taking daily progress pictures. Now, if daily is too much for you, at least take pictures of your physique monthly. Because I swear, I wish I took more pictures of my physique so I can actually like kind of track my progress with my physique and see, oh, that worked, that didn't work, because I mean, I gained a lot of weight there, or I became shredded during that period of time. With those progress pictures, kind of feel good about yourself because you had a crazy transformation. Let's talk about what food you should eat. I am quite extreme about my health, and certainly my hormonal health. And I, like any other guy, want to increase my testosterone. So I won't recommend you to go eat more junk. Now, I've seen this fitness advice and I actually used it at some point. And that advice was to bulk up, you can simply eat more junk. And that is absolute trash advice. The junk that you eat will not go to your muscle, it will go to your fats. It will go to your belly fat precisely. And that will do nothing except hide your abs and also decrease your testosterone levels. Not all foods are equal. Now, in the fitness industry, you usually hear the term calories are calories. And yes, calories are a unit of energy, so yeah, calories are calories. But let's say 200 calories of protein, of steak, is completely different than 200 calories of ice cream. And that 200 calorie of ice cream is not gonna do the same thing as the 200 calorie of steak. And it is important to understand that when you're trying to bulk up and put on muscle and not put on fat. Because sometimes you see these guys that actually start dirty bulking. They get into a calorie surplus and they don't make any gains except fat gains because their diet is absolutely trash. Now, yeah, you can still gain a little bit of muscle on a trash diet. I did it. But on a good diet, a healthy diet, you're gonna put on so much more muscle mass. Here are a few things you need to avoid. First, junk. So all the processed bullshit, all the McDonald's, everything that looks like something on the McDonald's menu, processed bullshit. The second thing you need to avoid is refined sugars. Now, refined sugars is basically all the sugars that's added onto the food. So let's say you're drinking a 100% organic orange juice. It has no added sugar. But sometimes you see these orange juices with only added sugar. There's not even an orange in that juice. Like, it's not made out of oranges. And those sugars are so much worse. Stop eating ice cream, candies, some white chocolate bullshit, and anything else where when you look on the label, it's written ice syrup, fructose, glucose, sugar. All that shit is actually destroying your gains, and that sugar is converting to fat and not the good type of fat. The third thing you want to avoid is additives. Not only usually have no calories, so they serve no purpose to the bulk, it's also filled with some chemical stuff that you don't want in your body because it's gonna reduce your testosterone and reduce your gains. So all the things you cannot name on a label that you don't know what it is, don't eat it. You don't know what the food is, well, it's probably not even food. Here are a few things to indulge in. First, meat. Now, meat are filled with protein. That's going to max out your protein synthesis and it's going to lead to more muscle growth. It's also filled with some high quality fats. And I know fat kind of sounds bad, but those fats are super good for you. They're actually what's going to create that testosterone that's going to help you with your hormonal profile. Now, you need to know that the higher the quality of the meat, the better. So try to aim for grass-fed meat, but I know that can be like super expensive. So if you cannot do that yet, don't do it. Aim for lower quality meat because it's still better than all the processed bullshit. But once you can afford it, try to go for grass-fed beef. The second thing is fruits and vegetables. Now, we already knew this. Your mama told you a million times that you should eat more vegetables. And she was right. You need to eat more vegetables and fruits. They're super good in micronutrients that's gonna help you with your muscle growth, with your health, with your testosterone, with your hormones. So eat more fruits and vegetables. The third one is dairy. Now, this one is not for everyone. Personally, myself, in a few months, I'm gonna try to cut dairy for a month because I got pretty bad acne and I think milk might actually be causing that. But for only bulking purposes and for health purposes, dairy is goated. It has some of the best, highest quality protein to max out your protein synthesis. So it's going to lead to an insane amount of growth. And it also has, at least for the fortified milk, it has some vitamin D, some vitamin A, which is amazing for your body. And the last one is rice and pasta. So all the starchy stuff. Now, this one is the less healthy on that list, but still, rice and pasta are amazing for the bulk. It's high in carbs, yeah, but those carbs, if you eat it before and after your workout, are gonna tremendously help you with your bulk, with putting on muscle. And eating carbs is so much easier than eating protein. So if possible, if you want to, add some more pasta, add some more rice at the end of your meals. So the more simple in terms of how processed the food you're eating, the better the gains. So in simple terms, to summarize everything I said, the more you eat like a caveman, the better the gains and the better the testosterone. So imagine in your head what cavemen used to eat. Would they eat McDonald's? Would they eat steak? Probably. Would they eat vegetables? Probably. Would they eat fruit? Probably. Do they eat ice cream? Probably not, right? It's also important that you make sure that you're eating enough protein. Now, what is enough protein? Quite simple. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for me, I weigh 205 pounds, so I need 205 grams of protein. Super simple. In kilograms, like 1.6, 1.7 grams of protein per kilogram. But honestly, you can easily go over that, but I wouldn't go too much under it if you want to max out protein synthesis and muscle growth. I hope this video helped you, bro. If you'd be interested in one-to-one coaching with me, it's gonna be the first link in the description. We basically hop on calls and do fun shit together. And if you'd be interested in watching me and my little bros just next door work out together, we basically post almost all of our workouts on this channel called Anabolic Monkeys. So it's gonna be the second link in the description. I'll see you guys next one. Mwah!